Excellent presentation about IOIA. November 6, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. I am reposting in its entirety this article about the International Organizations Immunity Act with only one small edit. I placed quotation marks around the word "the" in the header, so everyone is clued into which United States surrendered its offices and statutes to the United Nations. I thank the anonymous authors. This action was taken by the Pope's municipal United States government franchise handing over its offices and statutes to the United Nations Incorporated, the UN Corp. It's not our United States. It's the municipal entity operated in our names as the United States, but having no delegated authority to donate our states or any public law of ours to the United Nations, which is the UN Corporation and a totally different kind of organization than the United Nations. Be aware of how convoluted and deceptive this really is. Anyone who is unaware of the difference between the United States and the United States will think that this legislation gave away our states of the Union and our state laws, but it only appears to do that, because it is actually talking about a different United States and a different United Nations, too. And this also explains the Pope's recent comments about it being our duty to obey the United Nations, which just coincidentally happens to be owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Holy See and be under the direction of the Roman Curia as a collection of corporations in the business of providing governmental services. Hence my comments about the Pope promising to obey himself again. Anyway, with that small caveat to enhance your overall understanding of what this information provides, read on. December 9, 1945 International Organization Immunities Act relinquished every public office of the United States to the United Nations. http://avalon.law.yale.edu/20th_century/decad034.asp http://wscode/html/uscode22/us_22_usk_22_288-000-notes.html Government agent acting as an offshore statute merchant. Whatever the form in which the government functions, anyone entering into an arrangement with the government takes the risk of having accurately ascertained that he who purports to act for the government stays within the bounds of his authority. The scope of this authority may be explicitly defined by Congress or be limited by delegated legislation, properly exercised through the rule-making power. And this is so even though, as here, the agent himself may have been unaware of the limitations upon his authority. See, e.g., Utah Power and Light Co. v. United States, 243 U.S. 389. 409, 391, United States v. Stewart, 311 U.S. 60, 70, 108, and c. Generally, in Ray Floyd Acceptances, 7 Wall. 666. Neither the for-profit government nor the foreign statute merchant agent has access to sovereign immunity as a member of a corporation. A government never exercises its sovereignty. It acts merely as a corporator, and exercises no other power in the management of the affairs of the corporation than are expressly given by the Incorporating Act. Suits brought by or against it are not understood to be brought by or against the United States. The government, by becoming a corporator, lays down its sovereignty, so far as respects the transaction of the corporation, and exercises no power or privilege which is not derived from the Charter. U.S. v. Georgia Pacific Co., 421 F. 2d 92, 101 9th CIR. 1970. Government may also be bound by the doctrine of equitable estoppel if acting in proprietary for-profit nature rather than sovereign capacity. The savings to suitor clause is also available for addressing mercantile and admiralty matters aka civil process at the common law and within a state court. The reason why the law of necessity and full disclosure going to specificity comes into play in commercial proceedings once you're summoned into any of these private mercantile corporate courts. Title 8, 22 and 28 U.S.C. December 26, 1933 49 Statute 3097 Treaty Series 881 Convention on Rights and Duties of States stated Congress replaced statutes with international law, placing all states under international law. December 9, 1945 International Organization Immunities Act relinquished every public office of the United States to the United Nations. 22 CFR 92.12 to 92.31 FR heading Foreign Relationship states that an oath is required to take office. Title 8 U.S.C. 1481 stated once an oath of office is taken, citizenship is relinquished, thus you become a foreign entity, agency, or state. That means every public office is a foreign state, including all political subdivisions, i.e. every single court, and that court's personnel is considered a separate foreign entity. Title 22 U.S.C. Foreign Relations and Intercourse, Chapter 11 identifies all public officials as foreign agents. Title 28 U.S.C. 3002 Section 15A states that the United States is a federal corporation and not a government, including the Judiciary Procedural Section. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure (FRCP) 4J states that the court jurisdiction and immunity fall under a foreign state. The 11th Amendment states, "The judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law or equity, commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state, or by citizens or subjects of an foreign state. A foreign entity, agency, or state cannot bring any suit against a United States citizen without abiding the following procedure." Title 22 CFR 93.1 to 93.2 states that the Department of State has to be notified of any suit, and in turn has to notify the United States citizen of said suit. Title 28 U.S.C. 1330 states that the United States District Court has to grant permission for the suit to be pursued once the court has been supplied sufficient proof that the United States citizen is actually a corporate entity. Title 28 U.S.C. 1608 I have absolute immunity as a corporation. Title 28 U.S.C. 1602 to 1611 Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act allows the jurisdiction of a court to be challenged, and a demand of proper jurisdiction to be stated. July 27, 1868 15 Statutes at Large Chapter 249 Section 1 Acts concerning American citizens in a foreign state. Expatriation is what is broken when jurisdiction is demanded, and it is not met with an answer. Under the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 12b-6 the prosecution has failed to provide adequate proof that the parties involved in this situation are actually corporate entities. I have provided ample proof that the prosecution and other agents are actually corporations. 1950 First, Congress investigated the Lawyers Guild and determined that the BAR association by definition is founded and run by communists. Thus any elected official that is a member of the BAR will only be loyal to the BAR entity and never have allegiance to the people. End note from Grandma. This again confirms what the Vatican Chancery Court said 20 years ago, that these corporate STRAWMEN are gifts and are all prepaid tax purchase. In other words, Title 28, Section 1608 demonstrates exactly that kind of hold harmless status, but the Queen's British territorial government has continued to prosecute these entities for profit under their infamous 14th Amendment to their corporate rewrite of the Constitution of the United States of America issued in 1868 by the now defunct Scottish interloper. Read this as, they colluded, remember the British territorial government as indirectly under the Pope's control, to set up a phony war on our shores and profit themselves via confusing these named entities with actual Americans, who are third parties who had no idea what was going on. It is all 100% constructive fraud, all crimes of personation and barratry, all carried out under color of law. And at the end of the day, all the cows come home to Rome. And Congress. Sitting as the Territorial Congress, these members of Congress kept the bogus 14th Amendment provisions going and used them to attack the municipal persons. And at the same time, putting on a different hat and sitting as the Municipal Congress, these same members of Congress promoted the creation of these persons and allowed the attacks to continue. It has all been a self-serving little war for profit on our shores, engaged in by our foreign federal subcontractors, and at the end of the day, both sides of this war have been controlled by the popes. The popes have direct charter rights over the municipal United States government and indirect control of the British territorial United States through the Queen acting as administrator of the Commonwealths, and also a combination of direct and indirect control of the United Nations and ownership of the UN Corporation, too. As a result, the Pope has nobody left to blame or to fight, he can't fight himself, or hold the Queen or the UN Secretary-General up like sock puppets and pretend to be at war with his own subordinates. Links to this article and more can be found in the video description box.